All right, awesome. Welcome everyone, and super excited to have all of us here. I am here live with the one and only Ridwan Sanusi of Smart Halal Investors Club. And if you're just joining us, please put it in the comment section. Where are you joining us from? Let us know where you're joining us from, and definitely we'll give you a shout out on on the page so that people know where you're joining in from. We can see a lot of people coming in. Awesome, and I'm super excited to have Ridwan here on the call. First and foremost, let me even just tell you guys, he's a very busy guy. So the fact that he has given us his time to come to this class, let us not, we don't take it for granted. I'm super excited, and I'm glad. Ridwan is someone that I've grown to, really, really respect, especially in the investment and finance, um, business and finance. Just the entire finance part of the world. I'm talking about businesses, growth, funding, and everything. So I guarantee you, look, see, don't miss the opportunity to be in this class. Anybody that is calling you and is telling you to come somewhere else, just know that it's village people. They want to stop your destiny from growing. So make sure that you stay to the end of this class. You don't want to miss out, right? All right, so awesome. Let me not waste time rambling. Let's go straight into it. Ridwan, thank you very much for joining. And just tell us a bit about yourself and why did you start the Smart Halal Investors Club?
Okay, all right. Thank you, Offman, for inviting me to your community. It's a privilege and an honor to be here today. And good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everyone, depending on where you're joining from. My name is Ridwan, and I'm the founder and CEO of Smart Allied Investor Club and also the Harvest Financial Technologies Limited. So, to answer your question more specifically, why did I start the community? Back in 2017, when I left paid employment, I was very interested in investment, personal finance, because I had little savings to take care of my own family. So I started learning about personal finance, reading books written by American personal finance coaches like Robert Kiyosaki and others. So I started diving into those books, reading articles and of course listening to podcasts by Dave Ramsey and some of these, interesting and amazing guys. So I started finding investment, personal finance very interesting. And I wanted to teach people about personal finance and investment because I kind of saw the gap, especially amongst, the Muslim folks in Nigeria. So I started, the Muslim Finance Coach, which was my personal brand. I started it back in 2017. I had a conversation with someone that many of us might know quite well within the Muslim community. His name is Mohammed Faris, or Productive Muslim. He lives in Texas, United States. So I had a conversation with him, and he told me to, just go for it and start this thing. So I started having clients from different part of the world, and it got interesting to the extent that sometimes I don't even have the time to, attend some of my coaching sessions because I was also involved in, training. I had a consulting firm back then, but I was very enthusiastic and very passionate about, helping people grow their wealth the ethical way. And after a while, once I've finished coaching my clients, they come back to me asking for a direction as to where they're going to put their funds into, right? So they tell me, okay, beautiful. We know how to save, we know how to budget, we have money stashed away somewhere, but we don't know where to put these funds to. I mean, we have to make our money grow for course and gain financial independence. And that is very, very true because you can't save your way to wealth. You can only invest your way to wealth, right?
Please say
So
that again.
you can't save your way to
Everyone.
You can't save your way to wealth. You can only invest your way to wealth. And investments cut
Wow.
across different areas. It doesn't necessarily have to be starting a business. Running your own business is a form of investment. It could also be investing in someone else's business, like investing in the stock market or investing in financial products like Sukuk, real estate, other financial assets that are available to retail investors and institutional investors out there. So one critical aspect of joining to financial independence or financial freedom or financial security, whatever you want to call it, right, is investment. We all need to learn about investment. Okay. So I used to teach my clients how to save, how to budget, how to manage their finances. So they were able to have a full grasp of these aspects of their personal finance. However, they didn't know how to invest, right? Or sometimes they know how to invest, but they have limited investment options to choose from, especially because I cater majorly to the Muslim community. Of course, I do have Christians that are also in our community. I'll talk more about that later on. So I started the Smart Land Investor Club back in 2021, January. We did a pilot test. So what I did essentially was to send an email to all my coaching clients to join us for 1 month free subscription, the Smart Land Investor Club, so that we can use that to test the waters. Because obviously I was also experimenting myself, right? I mean, I wanted to be sure that this was something that was going to work, right? And it's going to be different from other investment clubs out there. We started first month, January 2021, and it was free. Okay. The people that believed in me, people that saw the vision that I had pictured for them, they joined. People that thought that okay, what is this? Could be a scam or something, didn't join, right? And guess what? It's free, right? You have nothing to lose. Just come and learn because we're also going to be teaching them personal finance and investment. Come and learn. And when we give investment opportunities to you, it's your decision to make whether you want to invest or not. To cut a long story short, first month, our first investment was in a business that I know very well. This business, is into exportation, and they started, or this business owner, who happens to be a very good friend of mine, started a business in 2015. It was about 7.7 million naira that we invested in the business for that first month, and it was the ROI was about, I think, 35% in 9 months. There's a way we structure our investment, right? So let me leave that for another day. Okay. Now, fast forward from January 2021 till date, we've done well over $2.5 million worth of investment. We have helped our members, earn. I don't want to use the word crazy, but we've helped our members earn decent, returns on their investments. We have investments in Nigeria majorly. We do have some investment in Dubai. We're looking to get some investment for our members in North America. We have secure partnerships with, amazing, globally recognized institutions that are licensed in the countries that they operate. So all we have to do is just, essentially to start introducing some of the investments that they manage to our members. Now, one critical component of our model is investments in SMEs in Nigeria, and I think that's why we're here. Right. For us, we're trying to solve the twin problem of helping small business owners have access to capital, right? And capital that is not going to choke them up, capital that would enable them to grow. Some of the businesses that were financed from 2021 till date, they have received, one has received all over 160 million naira, another one has received all over 100 million, right? And what we do essentially is that we are not only investors in your business, right? Partners. And that's why we call our business owners that we finance business partners. Okay. We are more interested in the growth of your business. Okay, of course, we also want returns for our members, but we are more interested in the growth of your business. So that's why we finance the businesses that exist in our portfolio every time they come for financing, because we know that they're actually in need of this. All right. And we have also carried out our own credit analysis, due diligence, to be sure that, okay, there is a need for us to finance this business, right? So for as long as the business continues to grow, we would continue to mobilize funds from our members, and will continue to finance, and would also continue to grow as a community as well. So that was why I started the Smart Aladdin Bristol Club to give our community members access to investment opportunities. And now we have identified a big need in the market, especially the Nigerian market. And the need is giving small business owners access to capital that they need to grow and scale the business.
Wow, wow, amazing. I mean, just the sheer magnitude of the numbers. I know the funny thing was that I actually wanted us to get to the numbers, but I didn't want us to get to it now. I wanted us to tease them a bit. But I'm glad that you dropped the numbers. And guys, honestly, I mean, if any of you that is watching this, right, I want you to understand what it means. $2.5 million, not naira. Go and calculate it, right? What does that? How much is that in naira? Investment that has gone out, that has helped business owners, and that has gotten mad returns. I know Ridwan, he likes to be modest, and he tell you that no, we're trying small. It's a lie. Mad returns. The returns are out of this month. We'll get there. But I understand that you currently have two types of clients, which is
Right.
interesting, right? So
Right.
first you have investors as clients, right? And then you have business partners that you partner with. I'm curious to know, right? How has it been, finding businesses to fund? What are the things that you look out for?
Okay, I mean, that's a very beautiful question. Now, our model has been sustainable based on the quality of the businesses that we bring to the community. We don't do marketing for member acquisition because for as long as we continue to give our members, the existing members, quality businesses that would deliver very good return to them, we can be rest assured that our members will continue to stay with us. And guess what? They will continue to bring their friends, their families into the community, right? So I can tell you categorically that we haven't done, we have not spent a single dime on marketing, right? And we have been able to get about 130 members from about 10 countries, right? So the critical component of our business model is getting quality businesses to finance. What are the things that we look out for? We know that we cannot finance all businesses that are out there. All right. Our model is such that we want to focus on those that really need the financing and they are at the growth stage of their business cycle. Okay. I'm very sure that Hoffman would have taught some of you, business cycle, because for every business, you're going to pass through different stages. All right. So you pass through the R&D stage. I like to use a man and a woman, or a man who wants to propose marriage to a woman as an example, as an analogy. So the first stage of your business cycle is like the R&D, which is the research and development. So a man wants to get married. He needs to carry out research about the lady that he wants to get married to, right? It doesn't make sense for him to just jump on the street, find a girl on the street, and then proposes marriage to the person. So you need to carry out research. You need to know the lineage, the background. If this person, someone that I can get married to, we're going to be compatible. Of course, we can't get all the information right there. That's why business coaches will always tell you that once you've been able to identify your market, in this case, you have identified the lady that you want to get married to. The next thing is to start, right? Because you cannot get it right 100%. So you have done the R&D, okay, for your business. The next stage is introduction. So that's where you go to the ladies' family members. You do your introduction, right? Okay, yes. Yeah, I am, sir. Okay. Oh, yeah, I am, ma. My name is Hoffman. I want to get married to your daughter. And if they accept, fine. This is the stage where you would know whether your business, right, is going to succeed or not, because you are introducing the product to the market. So you're using the products to get traction or data. You're using it to get, market acceptance. So once you introduce, for instance, like 10 bottles of your products to the market, and then you sold that within 10 minutes, that is good enough evidence to suggest to you that you need to go and produce more. So the man, got to the lady's house, and then they welcomed him. They gave him all the necessary support and told him that don't worry, you're good to go with our daughter. That is acceptance already. That is introduction. Now, so the next stage is what? The growth stage. So for us, right, we don't come at the introduction stage. We don't come at the R&D stage. So there are businesses that are already at the R&D that are at the introduction stage. We'll finance you at the growth stage. So the growth stage is where now you are married, you've got kids, all right?
Hmm.
Now the marriage is what is growing.
Hmm.
Do you understand? So the business is growing. There's market acceptance. The man and the woman know both families, in fact, the extended families, not just the nuclear families. So this is a stage where we come into financial business because we don't want to take huge risk. All right. We're going to take some risk, no doubt, but we don't want to take a risk of financing the business at the introduction stage. Okay.
Hmm.
Most times, what I usually tell business owners is that when you are at the introduction stage, bootstrap, use your own money, right, to get market acceptance. Get money or loans from families and friends. That is not a time where you want to be giving out so much of equity or so much of, like, you don't want to spend a lot on cost of funds. Cost of funds means if I'm financing your business, say to the tune of 100 million, for instance, you would have to give me some returns on that 100 million naira. Do you get? So you need to bootstrap at the introduction stage. Okay, funds shouldn't be the reason why you shouldn't start your business. Just like the guy who wants to get married to the lady, right? Not having a lot of money shouldn't be the reason why you're not going to get married to her. Get married. Do you understand? That's the introduction. Get married first. Don't worry. Okay, God is going to provide for you as you grow in your marriage. So once you get to that growth stage, we believe that you have tested the waters, you have passed the test of times, you have been able to fend off competition right within your industry, you have expanded your capacity because these are the things that we look out for. We want to understand what's your current capacity. Now you want to expand your capacity. Let's say your current capacity is 10,000 units. We want to expand to 20,000 units. We want to see how many times have you done this 10,000 units? How many times? If you've done it once, that's not good enough. We want you to do it multiple times, right? So once you've done it like maybe three times, four times, five times, you know that I need to expand. Just like the man and the woman, like you're living, let's say before you give birth to your first child, you were living in a one-room apartment. Now you have three kids. Nobody's going to tell you to go and get a three-bedroom apartment. Do you understand? So, but at the introduction stage, right, there is no point. I'm a personal finance coach. It doesn't make any sense for you to go and get a three-bedroom apartment in Lekki, paying 1.2 million naira when you don't have kids yet. Do you understand? So it is
Hmm.
when you start having kids, you start growing that you can now expand. So this is one of the mistakes that business owners make. They think that there's a lot of demand for the products in the market. So they go out in search of funds. And then once they get the funds, they realize that they can't maximize the use of those funds. The problem that you don't want to have is having too much funds in your bank account and not knowing how to use the funds.
Wow.
Okay? The problem you don't want to have is having too much of funds in your bank account and not knowing how to maximize the funds. All right. And honestly, I can tell you for free that sometimes problems come in as blessing in disguise. Okay. And one of the fundamental problems you might have in your business, especially at the R&D and introduction stage, is lack of funds or inadequate funds. If you have lack of funds or inadequate funds, it's not really a big problem. As a matter of fact, it could even be good for you because that's where you're going to be creative, right? To think of ways that you can, you know, just get the sales going, push yourself, put in a lot of effort. And once you've been able to do that, of course, there would definitely come a time when you're going to need funds, no doubt. Even the richest man in the world needs funds to grow his business. Elon Musk needs funds to grow his business. Aliko Dangote still needs funds to grow his business. There will definitely come a time where you're going to need funds. But at the initial stage, the introduction stage, my advice is always don't get funds. Bootstrap, okay? Use cheap funds, right, to grow. So once you get to that growth stage, that's when I believe that you can start coming to people like us, and that's where we focus on businesses that are at the growth stage. Now, what are the key attributes according to our own definition of a business that is at the growth stage? One is your sales should be increasing, right? You have huge sales. I don't want to put a number, okay, because it also depends on the kind of product or services that you deliver. But I can tell you that historically, the businesses that we have financed in our own portfolio, they have, annual sales to the tune of 100 million naira and 200 million. We have a business that does about 1 billion naira. Do you understand? Because again, we also want to be careful. We want to be sure that we are financing businesses that really need these funds. Okay, and when push comes to shove, we can always do some sort of reconciliation. The business still has the capacity to be able to collect more funds and pay our members the capital, even if we don't get the returns on the investment, right? So that's one key attribute, your sales. We look at your sales. All right. Again, I don't want to put figure. So if, for instance, your sales is 20 million naira, okay, we have financed a business that started with us with the sales of about 20 to 30 million naira. This business within 12 months is now doing minimum 100 million naira thanks to the funds that we're bringing to this business. And that is because of the other attributes that I'm going to be talking about. Number two, you understand the market, like the internal and the external. You understand the market very well. You are not relying on a middleman's expertise or opinion. You, the business owner, understands the market. You have done marketing yourself. You've done accounting yourself. You've done a whole lot of things. So when we are asking you questions, we'd expect you to. I mean, for instance, I'm sure many of you would have watched Dragons Den at Shark Tank. I watch Shark Tank like literally, and I'm not kidding, every single day. If you're a business owner who wants to know how to answer questions, right, from your investors, I would advise you go watch Shark Tank or Dragons Den. And there are key questions they ask these business owners. Okay. And one of them is the numbers. You must know your numbers. If I ask you, for instance, okay, what was your sales last year? And then, you're mumbling, you can't even
Mm.
give a specific answer. What that tells me is that this is someone that doesn't really know the business. You're just doing it as a hobby or as a side also. You must know your numbers. If you ask me, Ridwan, how much did you generate in revenue last year? I can tell you right now, that is someone who is living and breathing the business. The business owners that we finance, we see these things in them. Some of them, they buy products from Kano. They don't, yes, of course, they do hire people, to go get the products in the farm, but they travel themselves to the place to check what is going on. We don't want you to be sitting there in one, fancy office, you're drinking wine, and we have invested 100 million in your business, and you're sending people messages, or you go here, you go here. We want you to go to the place yourself and see what is going on, so that when issues happen or when issues arise, you're able to quickly respond to those issues. All right, because you are the business owner. You should know about the business very well. Now, there are two things that I personally pay critical attention to. One is competence, the other one is character. One is competence, the other one is character. And this is about the business owner now, not even about the business itself, about the business owner. So we have conversations with the business owner, and I try as much as possible to assess your character and your competence. Now, you see, these two things are very critical, because even when the business is not delivering on the expected returns, these are the two things that will help us to salvage the situation. There is no business that will not pass through tough times. It is not possible. There is no business that will not pass through tough times. But how the business can survive through this storm or through these tough times? These two things. If you are competent, you will know how to turn things around.
Mm.
If you have a good character, people will come and support you.
Mm.
You understand?
Powerful.
We've had some businesses in our portfolio that have had one or two issues. But you know what I do? I come to their aid and then we seek more funds from our members. We explain to them what is going on in the business. Because sometimes, okay, there are external factors that would affect the business not being able to deliver on the expected returns. It's not as a doing of the business or the business owner, but the business owner has been very honest, has been very sincere, and I must say at this point in time, it's quite unfortunate that there are some Nigerian business owners that are not trustworthy. They are not sincere. All they want to do is just to, get the funds and they divert it into something else, right? Because we don't want to invest in things that we want to invest in a real business. So competence and character are very important. I pay attention to these two things, right? The moment we begin to see red flags about your character, and of course, that is not an easy characteristics to identify, but I pay attention when I'm having conversation with the business owner. I ask you certain questions. Depending on how you respond to those questions, I'll be able to tell whether this is someone that is honest and truthful or someone that is just overly excited about getting funds from us. Let me give you one trick. If a
Tell
business
us,
owner
tell us.
if the business owner tells us that, oh, I actually need 20 million naira to finance this transaction, and then we go back to the drawing table and then we tell the business owner that, okay, for a start, we can't give you 20 million. We can only give you like maybe 5 million or 10 million because we want to move into this transaction gradually. We want to adopt a conservative approach. And the business owner says, okay, don't worry, still bring the 5 million.
Bring
That's a
it. That one wants to use your business to buy car.
that is a red flag for me. And I'm very honest. I mean, we have dealt with about 15, 16 businesses, right? And I've seen this thing happen many times. The ones that succeed, they will tell you that this is how much I need. If a business owner is telling you that I don't need your money, if you cannot give me the 20 million naira for what I need it for, then there is no point. That is someone that you should look for as an investment. That is someone that you should look for as an investor. But if someone is saying, okay, bring it, because the question is, I mean, if you need 20 million and then I'm giving you 5 million, how much would the 5 million do anyways? Do you understand? It's a red flag. I'm not saying that, okay, I mean, you still can't use the 5 million, but it's just a red flag. All right. So these are some of the things that we pay attention to, your sales. We also look at your margin. And more importantly, we also look at your product. Okay. We look at your product. What kind of products do you sell? We all know that the Nigerian economy, is not in a palatable state at the moment. So we also are very careful as to the industry, the sector that we want to put our members' funds into. So if you're selling a product that has the propensity to generate cash flow within a short period of time, you will most likely get funds from us. All right. If you're selling a product that has the propensity to generate cash flow within a short period of time and it has a higher margin, you most likely get funds from us. All right. But if it is a product that is good, that the shelf life is about, maybe 2 months or 3 months, when I say shelf life now, I mean not necessarily the duration or the durability of the products, but in terms of how
The
you're able
speed at
to,
which it brings in money.
sell. And that's very critical. We will see all those things. See, if you give us financial statement, I'm an accountant. If you give me financial statement, I will put it aside because anybody can cook up figures. But there are two things that I pay attention to when it comes to figures: your bank statements, all right, and your sales. Okay, your bank statement and your sales, because your bank statements will not lie. All right. Of course, except if you change the narration, but you can't always change the narration every now and then, right? So your bank statement will not lie. If your bank statement is showing a credit of 600 million naira, right, in 1 year, and then I check your financial statement, then you're putting maybe like 2 billion naira, sales, and something is wrong somewhere. It's either some of your sales is not passed to your bank statement or something like that. So we pay attention to bank statement. We ask for bank statements because your bank statement will show how your customers are paying into the bank. right? And the frequency at which they are paying. So that will tell us whether this is a product that has the propensity to generate cash flow within the short period of time. So these are some of the things that we
Wow.
look out for as investors.
This is this honestly. So I know we're talking about investment, but this is like even a master class for business owners. I mean, I don't know about you guys, and I mean, if you're here, you're watching us, please drop some emojis in the comment section. Let's see those emojis and tell us how this class has been impacting you so far. And I just want to add in something else, like these things that he talked about, that's what investors look for. I think that as a business owner, even if you are not looking for investment, those are the things you should start looking at too. So at the end of the month, print your bank statement, look at it, and ask yourself, are you deceiving yourself in this business that you're doing? Because I mean, your bank statement will tell you. If, for example, the only time you received credit was 1st of the month, 10th of the month, 30th of the month, then you know that you're not really, in business. Right. So I think that is important that you also look at that. And I think I really, really love this the attributes of the growth stage that you talked about, right? It means that your sales will be increasing. You need to understand the market, and then you have to have competence and character. I think that those are three amazing things that if, as a business owner, whatever stage of the market, whatever stage of the growth business cycle you're in, if you imbibe these things, you're always looking for how you can increase your sales. You're always looking for how you can understand your market better, and you're improving your competence by understanding your market. And obviously, you have character. I think that you go far in business. Wow, these gems, mind blowing. Now, another question I want to ask is, I mean, we've talked about it, business growth, you invest in the growth cycle, but in your experience, right, how important is funding and finance to business growth?
I mean, it's very important. Like I mentioned, every business at one point or the other would need funding. And a logical explanation to that is if Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, has a net worth of over $300 billion, he's still looking for funding, right?
Hmm.
So someone can say, okay, how is he looking for funding? I mean, his businesses are in the NASDAQ, the stock exchange market.
Yeah.
So he's getting funds from the public. If Aliko Dangote, the richest man in Africa, right, is still in need of funds to grow his empire, how about you running a billion naira business or 100 million naira business or 20 million naira business, right? So that's to tell you, I mean, of course, it also depends on your own vision, right? There's some people that just want to stay small, right? I don't need external funds, it's fine. And that's why we always ask this question: do you really need these funds? Because when you get funds, I can tell you for free that your responsibility has increased. Just like myself, I'm managing a community, right, of investors from across 10 countries. It's a big responsibility on my shoulders. Okay. Some people would ask me, Richard, how do you sleep at night? And I tell them I sleep.
Honestly.
How do you sleep at night knowing that you are controlling this amount of money and on behalf of these people? And I tell them that, see, and as a matter of fact, about 90% of our members, I haven't seen them face to face. But there are two things I think have worked for us over time. And one is trust, and the other one is competence. You can go back to what I said about character and competence, right? So the competence and the character. So they've seen that, okay, this is not a scam. All right. This thing is actually working. And this is someone that, yes, we might not have met him physically, but I mean, all the information has been given to us. They are verifiable. And we are very transparent with our investors. When we want to invest in a business owner, right? Sometimes we organize like an investor call. The business owner comes, answers questions, right? We put all the information that they need to invest in the business owner in an investment memo. We share it with them. We don't collect funds from them. They are the ones that make the decision as to whether they want to invest or not. We have just gone in search of this. We have carried out our own diligence, and the ball is in their course. So essentially, we have put the gun in their hand. It is left for them to pull the trigger. Okay.
Or to just
So My experience, right, financing businesses that are in our portfolio. Um, a business would definitely need funds at one point or the other. I will give you examples. There is a business in our portfolio at the moment that sells herbal products. I personally coached this business owner when she was still doing about 15 million naira revenue a year. She didn't have a structure. So I coached her in 2020 as to how she can start putting structure in place. And then I coached her on how she can manage her personal finance. So when I started the community, she was the first out of business partners to come into our community. I pushed her because I know the potential that that business has, and I know that she understands the business very well. She was very skeptical initially about getting funds. I told her, don't worry, all right, I am behind you, I'm going to support you. The first amount that we raised for her, she was a bit skeptical. She was like, oh, no, are you sure I can do this? I don't want problems. I don't want issues. It was just about 7 million naira. All right. We financed this lady 7 million naira. Guess what? She sold out in a week. She came back
Wow.
asking for more funds. And I told her, relax. Told her, relax. Okay. There are other campaigns that we have in our community. We'll get more funds for you when the time comes. We have done 5 different campaigns. Now, when I say campaigns, different cycles with this person, we have financed her within 12 months to the tune of over 100 million naira. This business owner started with one small shop right in Lagos. Now she has 3 stores in 3 different locations: Lagos, Oshogbo, Kano. Not only that, she has bought her own property with the funds that we have given to her. Now, when I say with the funds, not with her own funds, she has used our funds to get a lot of money in the business, right? And she has expanded the business to the extent that she has been able to buy her own property. She got money from the business to buy the property.
Mm.
There is another one, all right? He's into export business. He gets POs from his buyers every now and then, but of course, he needs money to fulfill these POs, all right? He was doing about 200, 300 million naira every year. When he came to us, all right, this business is now doing 1 billion naira. He did 1 billion naira last year. 1
Woo.
billion naira last year, all right?
There's something about, I don't know, but there's something about 1 billion that excites me. Honestly, when I see businesses that have the potential to be a billion, I love it. Million, but when you hear billion, there's even the way the billion sounds. Please, let me not interrupt you.
Again, I mean, I run a business, right? And for instance, for my business, I'm asking myself, should I raise funds or should I continue to bootstrap? All right, we have built our own portal, for our members to be able to watch video courses and have access to our investment opportunities. But we're able to get money from the business to do that. I started the business with 0 naira. I started a business with 0 naira, but we have generated revenue to the tune of 6 figures in USD. 6 figures in USD. You can think about that, okay? 6 figures in USD. Our first year of operations. Of course, there will come a time when I would also need funds for my own business. Now, it could be debts, meaning, okay, Offman give me money and then we share the profit, or there's going to be a markup on whatever products that we want to sell. It could be equity, like we get funds from investors to come and invest in our business and then we give them shares. All right. So you need to understand at what point do you need funds. But we will help you do that because I can tell you categorically that out of 20 businesses that come for financing from us, beg your pardon, maybe about 2 or 3 eventually succeed. Do you understand? So we tell others to go back and maybe just recalibrate, get your feet right, or it might also be that they are not a fit for our portfolio requirements. Because we are an investment manager, we want to be able to spread our own tentacles across different industries. So, for instance, if we have a lot of our members' funds in transportation, for instance, and then you are a transportation business coming, we might not be able to finance you. We can just put you in the pipeline because we want to spread our investment, diversify our investment across different industries. So a business owner at one point or the other will need funds. Again, you would know that you actually need the funds to expand. The analogy that I use is the man and the woman, growing. Now they have like three kids, getting to four kids, get to five kids. Nobody's going to tell you that you have to move out of that one bedroom apartment. You need to go and get a three-bedroom apartment, right?
Wow, powerful. So let me just, so I mean, I know we're talking about businesses, but I want to just chip in here
Right.
and talk about my own experience in the Smart Halal Investors Club. And like you said, the competence and the character has made your investors to really, really go into it. I remember when I joined, and I was very conservative, right? And I was doing very like I think the maximum investment I did was like 200k, 200k. If they bring an investment, I'll do 200k, 300k, 500k. And then one day, an investment came in, and I went online. I went to the portal, and I was just trying to, based on the returns, what the returns would look like. And I mistakenly put one extra zero. So I wanted to put my normal 200k, then I mistakenly put an extra zero. Then I saw the returns. I was like, what? So I've been dulling myself since. As I was wondering, I was like, what is investment? I don't understand. See, and if you're watching this, and maybe you're close to me, and maybe you know me and all that, and maybe you hear me always complaining that I'm broke, right? This is the reason. Because when I saw that returns, I was like, guy, forget it. I'm going to put all my money inside this thing. And I remember when I first, so Mariam, the committee manager, we had discussed, and I said, oh, I want to increase my investment. She knows how I invested. She knew that. She thought maybe when I said I was going to increase, I was going to put like maybe 200k or when she saw the amount, she was like, sir, oh, we didn't know you're going to put this much. I don't think we can take it. I said, please, you have to take it. I don't know what you want to do. And Alhamdulillah, it's been amazing. It's honestly, right? I mean, it's for me, as an investor, I'm happy, right? The transparency is there, and it has even made me more. I mean, I was having a conversation, so I just want to do a detour, but I'll come back. I was having a conversation with my wife. One of the projects, short-term projects, that we have is that we want to see if I get a house, right? And I told her, I was like, I don't know if I want to, because I don't know. I don't know. Because I calculated it. I said, okay, typically, all the investments that we've seen, typically, it's a minimum is a 16% ROI, right? In 6 months. Right? That's the average. So I said, okay, if I carry the money that I want to use to go and buy a house, right? I just told her, I was like, listen, imagine if you just split it into 16%, 25%, one this one, this one. The amount of returns that will come in. I mean, I don't mind though. I will go sit down. If I even I'll sleep in my car, I'll put, but like, I think that, like you said, I really love what you said, where you said you can't save your way to wealth. You have to invest your way to wealth. And that honestly, that has changed how I look at things. It's making me really, really look at it. And so if you're here watching this and you're a business owner that needs funds, one is the guy for you. But you're a business owner that also you can spare 500k, 1 million, 2 million here and there. It's better for you to, come in here. But so before we even and we'll talk about how they can contact you if anybody's interested. But I want to know, which is, I think this might be the last or second to last question that I ask you. What mistakes do business owners make that stop them from getting investment from you? I know you have told us about the red flag when they are hungry for the money. But what other mistakes do they make so that these people that are seeking for funds can actually implement and start to correct?
Okay, thank you for asking that question. I think it's a beautiful question. You can't always get it right, right? I mean, that's obvious. Even Dangote will tell you that, okay, I made some mistakes, when I started my business. For some people, you might actually not know that Dangote, had a bank at one point or the other. my
I didn't know.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He had a bank. I think it was Liberty or something. I can't remember the name of the bank now. My my late father-in-law used to work there. But that's a story for another day. But hey, guess what? He's still the richest guy in Africa. Not having shares in the bank, or still controlling a lot of what's it called, shareholding interest in some of the multinational organizations that's currently operating with. So one thing that you need to realize, right, is that first off, let me say this: not wanting to make a mistake is a mistake on its own.
Mm.
All right. Not wanting to make a mistake is a mistake on its own. So, in other words, you have to start from somewhere. All right. Um, but don't make costly mistakes. Now, one costly mistake that you can make is collecting money from people and then diverting it to something else. Now, you're just running from pillar to post, not knowing what to do with your business because you weren't transparent enough with your investors. All right. So that's why you need to bootstrap. Make the mistakes with your own funds. Make the mistake with the funds of people that will not cut your head off if something goes wrong. Because the moment you start getting funds from external people like myself, for instance, I'm going to be asking you questions and I'm not going to be smiling at you because I am
Mhm.
responsible, right, for the funds of my own investors. I'm accountable to them. So I have that fiduciary responsibility to ensure that their funds are safe. So, and I'm not going to be hearing stories. I want to hear facts. So you have to be careful when you get it from external people. Don't be too, don't be in a haste, right? To get funds from external people. Make the mistakes with your own funds. Make the mistakes with the funds of people that would not cut off your head. Now, from my experience dealing with business owners, what are the mistakes that we have identified? One major mistake that we have identified is, I don't want to call it a mistake, but I think that it has to do with our environment. I don't know. I don't want to say our culture, but our environment. I have seen that Nigerian business owners run business not because they want to do the business, but because they just want to make money out of the business.
Mm.
So when they see an opportunity to get funds from an external party, right, their focus is on how they can quickly make some money out of the funds and possibly pay back, but they are not necessarily looking at whether the business itself needs the money for expansion. Because, of course, when you're getting funds from someone else, it's an opportunity for you to grow. Do you understand? But guess what? It's also an opportunity for you to, you know, go
I
down. Do you understand? Honestly
yeah.
speaking, some people today will tell you that one of the greatest mistakes that I made was getting funds from external parties. Do you understand? Because it's going to change your mindset altogether. So that's why I said you need to understand your business. You need to understand the stage at which your business is. Is it at the stage where we need funds and how much do we need? So if I need 20 million, for instance, and then someone is proposing to invest 30 million, I'm going to tell the person, I'm sorry, I can only take 20 million at this point in time. I don't need more than that. But I found out that there are some people that would still want to get the 30 million because they feel that, oh, once the funds are there, I can always use it. That is not true. Because if you don't have a pipeline to channel the funds into, it's going to be a problem for you. And the people that have given you the funds, they expect you to maximize that funds and pay them returns. All right. So one of the biggest mistake we find out is that business owners do not understand when they actually need funds and how much they really need. That's one. The other one is not having proper structure. in the business. It's very common.
You have heard.
This is very common, not having proper structure. At a point when we started, we had our own framework, we had our own guide that would help us identify the kind of businesses we wanted to finance in our community. If we were to follow that guide to the letter, I can tell you for free that maybe about 3 or 4 businesses would be able to get funds from us. So we understood the market. We understood that, oh, okay, many Nigerian business owners, even the ones that have 1 billion revenue, they don't have structure, but they have something, or they have things that will still make them eligible for our funds, right? So, for instance, the lady that I told you about, she didn't have the structure. She was just a one-man business. But when we realized that, wait a minute, we have started increasing our funds in this business, what did I do? I quickly, I quickly consulted an accountant on our behalf and told the accountants to help her manage her bookkeeping, manage her record keeping, ensure that she knows the profit she's making on the product. She sells about 100 products. She paid this person 1.5 million naira for a 3-month project. She can afford to do that now because she's making the money. And guess what? She's so happy right now because she has a structure. She's planning to travel to Dubai. She's also planning to travel to India. She can afford to go because she has a structure. Before, she didn't have the structure. She couldn't afford to leave the business. But now she can afford to because she has a structure. So that's one of the things that we also do. We don't only finance, we also help you put in structure. We're not the ones that will do it, right? But we'll bring people that we believe have the experience and the expertise to help you in putting proper structure. Many business owners in Nigeria do not have proper structure. And structure doesn't necessarily have to be having too many employees. I don't have too many
Yeah.
employees in my business. All right. I run, a digital business. I don't have too many employees. As long as the employees that I have know what to do and they know how to deliver, meaning I have equipped them with the knowledge and the skills that they need to deliver. They just need to get the job done. All right. But for some of you, you have people that are working in your business, and yet you're still the one managing so many roles, managing so many tasks. You don't have a structure. You can have 10,000 employees, yet you might still not have a structure in your business. So, do you have a policy? Do you have like a way to keep records? Do you have a way to evaluate the performance of your employees? Do you have a credit policy with your customers? How do you follow up with overdue payments with your customers? These are the things that you need to put into proper perspective. And if you don't know how to do these things, it's best you hire a consultant that is going to help you. Because guess what? Hiring a consultant is going to save you a lot of money and it's also going to save you a lot of stress. For instance, in our own business, when we started, we didn't have a portal. We were just using Excel sheets to manage our investors' funds. But right now, we have a portal that's putting proper structure in place. Okay? So you need to have a structure. You don't have to spend an arm and a leg to have a proper structure. The other mistakes that we've also identified is not understanding the markets, not knowing how market conditions can affect the performance of your business. Business owners get overly excited because everybody, would sell the business in a good way, anyways, right? Even the person that is selling, a sachet of water will tell you that, oh, I'm running a 1 billion naira business, something like that. You get? But the truth is, you can only deceive yourself. You can't deceive people that want to put funds in your business. There was a business owner that we had a conversation with last week, right? And so when we started talking, I asked one of my team members to lead the conversation. That's what I do these days. I don't even lead the conversation anymore. I just sit and listen to the conversation because I'm paying attention to certain things. Because you can't be asking question and then be getting information that you need to get to identify red flags. So these days I allow my investment analyst to lead the conversation, right? So one of the questions he asked was the number of years that this business has been in operations. This business has been in operations for about 10 years. And guess how much they are seeking? 5 million naira. 5 million naira in my community,
Ah,
one person can drop it. Do you get? So so the guy is seeking 5 million naira, right? And I didn't want to discourage him, okay? So but I asked him, then I had to just jump in at 5 million naira. So what's your sales? The sales is about 10, the sales last year was about 10 million. I was like, what have you been doing for the past 10 years? I mean, for the past 10 years, 10 million naira. I mean, the guy said, okay, well, I mean, we'll be doing this, we'll be doing that. I mean, 10 years? And you're still on 10 million naira in this economy? Like, if you convert it to USD, do you know what that means? 10 million naira? I mean, I'm not saying 10 million naira is too small, right? But for a business
but
that's been
like
in
for
the
business that
for
has been 10
years,
years, yeah.
right? I mean, there is this normal saying that if you're not able to grow your revenue within the first 3 years of operations, right, there's a problem either with you or with the business. The business might be good, but you might not be paying critical attention, or you might not be giving the business the attention that it deserves. Perhaps it's high time you quit your job and focus on the business. Or it could be that there's a problem with the business. All right. So some of us we romance our business because it's my idea, it's this, it's that, I don't want to leave the business. Hey, the business must be able to make a lot of money to fund not only you but itself. All right. So not understanding the market conditions, the when I say market conditions, I'm talking about the variables that can affect the performance of the business. Is also one of the major mistakes that we found out with some of our business owners. All right. And so when we're asking you questions, for instance, we can ask you a question. Let's say you are into importation. All right. I would expect you to have risk mitigating factors that reduce losses if CBN should come up with a change in FX policy. I would expect you to be able to respond effectively to those kind of questions. That's someone who understands the business, understands the market that he or she is playing in. So these are some of the mistakes that we find out in business owners. To sum it up, not understanding the markets, overly excited, and I can say maybe some sort of greediness, right? Not being sincere with yourself, with the investors, diverting investors' funds into something that's you didn't agree with them, all right, and some of the other things that I've mentioned.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much. I mean, I know that you're a very busy person, so I'm not going to take too much of your time. We've already spent almost an hour. I really, really appreciate it. So I think the last thing that I'm just going to ask you is if people want to reach out to you, either if they want to do investment or they want you to help them to invest in their business, how can they reach out to you?
Okay, I mean you can send me an email, right?
Okay.
I'm going to drop my email right in the chat box. So you can send me an email. Just send me an email privately. Read one at smartalarminvestorclub.com. I can also drop my phone number, my WhatsApp. Just send me a WhatsApp message. Don't bother calling. Just drop a message, then I would respond. Okay. So you can send me an email. Oh, sorry, I didn't get the investor club right. Let me type that up.
Okay, I'll change it. Don't worry. I'm going to
Oh,
put
okay,
it up.
that's fine.
Yeah.
So you can either send me a WhatsApp message or you can send me an email and we can take it from there.
Right. Awesome. So let me just put it up. I'll put it up now in a bit.
Oh,
So I
okay,
have
right.
his phone
Great.
number up there.
It's only serious people should send me a WhatsApp message or an email, okay? At least you have an idea of the kind of businesses that we finance. You have an idea
Yeah.
of the kind of people that we have in our community. So please feel free to reach out to me if you have a business that is in need of funds for expansion, for growth. We're here for you. One of the beautiful things that I love about what we're doing is the impact. That's very critical. There are times when I need to be very honest with you. I ask myself, why am I doing this? There are times when I just want to quit, because sometimes it can be really
Don't quit,
stressful.
oh.
And I just want to quit. I just sit down in one small corner of the world and just be enjoying my life. But honestly, I have come to realize that this is my own legacy. I can never quit this because of the success stories that we've had, not only with our members, but also with the business owners that we've been able to help grow their businesses. For us, the way to help Nigeria come out of the turmoil that we're currently facing is entrepreneurship. And that's why I love what Offman is doing. Amazing coach, helping businesses to grow, to scale, to expand. And more importantly, he's also brought you guys here to give you access to what you might need to scale at a rapid rate, which is access to funds, right? So we thank him for organizing this session. So if you are someone who is thinking of investing, the ethical way, you can reach out to me. If you're someone who has a business and you need funds for expansion, reach out to me. We can have a conversation and we'll take it from there.
All right. Thank you very much, Ridwan. I really appreciate it. So, guys, you can quickly just take a screenshot of the screen right now. His phone number is there, email address is there. Take action today. Do not hesitate. Don't waste time and be saying, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow." If you do it tomorrow, it might be too late for you. So, Ridwan, thank you very much once again. I really appreciate your time, and
All right.
we're just gonna allow you to go and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much, and
All right.
do
Thank you
have a
so
wonderful
much.
day. I'll reach out to you later, and we'll continue our conversation. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Wow, that was fantastic. I don't know, man. That was totally amazing. That was mind blowing. I really enjoyed it. I even took notes. I've learned a lot from what he said. And so, thank you all for joining as well, for joining the class. For those of you that want, and so we're going to have the replay is going to be up on the BLC. So, as you know, in case you don't know, this is a BLC sponsored call, the Business Leaders Club. This is our monthly business clinic that we do on the Business Leaders Club. But the replay will only be available to members of BLC. So if you're not a member of BLC and you want to join, you can easily send me an email, and I'll put up my email on right now. My email is mail@theothman.com. Send me an email just with BLC, and I'll tell you how you can join so that you can get the replay and get amazing calls like this. We always do calls every Sunday at 5 p.m. in the community where I help people to grow their business. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you, all of you. You guys have been amazing. Do have a wonderful evening. I will end the broadcast now. Bye, everyone.